So this is my first pro-revenge story. Perhaps it is my best story. I still smile to myself when I remember this. It is long, but it does span over a decade. Way back in junior high school, I had a best friend who was my neighbor. Let's call her Michelle. Michelle was cool, but her family was crazy. Her mother, who I'll call Psycho Bitch or PB, had some definite disconnect with reality. Michelle was the oldest of 6 children. Her next sibling, a year younger than me, we'll call Crazy Hooligan or CH. Now, CH was known throughout the neighborhood and school for being a right little shit. Vandalism, pranks, low-level stuff would happen all the time. We all knew it was him, but he was smart enough to know what could get him in trouble and what couldn't. As he grew, his behavior escalated. His favorite thing to do to Michelle was walk by her and whisper "incest's the best" under his breath. He was a royal creep to any female he came across and had a special hatred for his sister's friends. When Michelle moved on to high school, I was a year behind her and got stuck in that school with CH. I didn't have that many friends and was a shy, timid girl. CH decided to use every possible opportunity to harass me. Knocking my books down, grabbing me, saying incredibly sexual things to me. This was the 90s, before schools took sexual harassment complaints seriously, and he never did it around other people, so I had to endure. For 2 years, I endured. Now, Michelle's mom, PB, had some very interesting ideas. When Michelle was about 16, PB thought she was going through menopause and insisted on having another child because she was too young for menopause. At Michelle's birthday party, I found a $20 bill on the street outside. I was ecstatic because I was saving for a leather jacket and my mother was matching my savings, so that was $40 toward my jacket. Michelle was happy for me, but PB insisted I give it to Michelle because it was her birthday, even though Michelle said she didn't want it. She browbeat me until I gave in, despite Michelle's protests. Michelle, bless her heart, slipped it back to me afterward. PB was a piece of work in other ways too. She complained about CH's behavior one day, and I suggested military school. "Oh no," she said. "Military school makes you gay." She also told me that if a gay person sneezed on you, you would get AIDS. I didn't tell her my sister was gay. After I moved on to high school, CH couldn't harass me directly anymore, so he went nuclear. He told his mother that I, and another of Michelle's close friends, were gay. The woman went ballistic. The next time I called, I got a screaming tirade of the most vile swear words I have heard to this day. At least I wasn't the other girl. PB actually tried to run her over with her car, drove up on the curb and everything. The girl had to jump out of the way to keep from getting hit. There were no witnesses, and PB's ex, the father of her older kids, was high up in the police department. So this woman could do pretty much whatever she wanted. Eventually they sold their house and moved, because PB couldn't stand living next to a lesbian. Michelle and I lost touch, since we didn't go to the same school and PB monitored everything she did. I lost a good friend over this, and didn't make new ones until I switched schools for 11th grade. Fast forward many years. I'm out of school, working at a grocery store. Who do I come across but CH? He works in produce. We both smoke, so we bump into each other often. He treats me like an old friend for some reason, and I am well versed in getting revenge years after a crime. I play nice, biding my time, and formulate a plan. Having studied psychology, I can pretty quickly zero in on people's weakest spots. Little comments here and there let me know that his mother's fear and hatred of gay people have taken deep root in him. My plan is set. When he complains one day about gay people, I put the act on. I stub out my cigarette in frustration. CH, just stop. Everyone knows you are gay. They just won't say it to your face. We all talk about it. It's obvious. There isn't anything wrong with it. Just admit it. Now, no one actually thought he was gay. No one was talking about it. But how do you prove people aren't talking about you behind your back? The more you deny it, the more paranoid you get. Every little thing becomes evidence. And suddenly, I am the only person in his life willing to be honest with him. Or so I want him to think. He blinks like a deer in the headlights and stammers that he is not gay. He's a bit of a dandy, so I point out his meticulous hair, nails, and clothes. How he is always clean. I know he cooks well because he used to cook for the whole family. I throw out every gay stereotype I can possibly tie to him, and the cherry on top is telling him he just gives off a certain vibe. I tell him this a few times over several weeks, just to give him something to think about. Then I have my gay friends start coming into the store and hitting on him. Every time, without fail, he would run to me and ask why it kept happening. I told you, it's a vibe. I don't know. You just seem gay. I had female friends come in, chat him up, then casually mention he would be perfect for their guy friend. He threw himself into dating women. But he still kept getting hit on, imagine that. He grew out his hair, stopped manicuring his nails, started dressing sloppier. Nothing worked. Then one day he saw 2 women kissing. He complained about it, and I said, "Oh CH, now I know you are gay." He was confused, so I explained how every straight guy in his crowd would have loved watching that. He confirmed it with his friends and became very morose. The day I had been waiting for finally came. At this point I was his confidant, his confessor, his therapist. I wasn't particularly warm about it, so I still don't know why he trusted me the way he did. But CH came to me one day and told me that at a party the night before, he got drunk and made out with a guy. Now, I know that making out with a guy doesn't make you gay. In CH's world, though, it most certainly did. I stared at him for about 30 seconds with my mouth hanging open, and then I started laughing. Laughing and laughing and laughing. As I laughed, I told him I had been messing with him the whole time. That I had sent my friends in. That everything I had said about him being gay wasn't true, but now it actually was. He really was gay, and I hadn't even planned on that part. His face crumpled. I stopped laughing and reminded him of the hell he had put me through for years, and how he had caused me to lose my best friend. I told him I was not his friend, and had never been his friend. And I let him know that we were even. It was over. He respected that, and didn't try to get back at me. We still spoke occasionally, and I was always cordial. He left not long after. I never heard from him again. And it still makes me happy.